What's up, y'all? Wait for some people to come in as usual, if they do come in. What's good, cuzzo? You made it this time. Oh, man. Right now, I want to talk about this Candace Owens character. Yeah, it's the age-old trick. I just want to sit there and say it's the age-old trick. They always want to put one of us out there to say a whole bunch of stuff against us, to sit there and say, see, one of your own said it or whatever, so they don't have to look racist, what have you. They could sit there and pin us against each other and whatever the case may be. Now, I've been seeing a lot of posts about Candace Owens. A lot of people been ripping into her, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. She's been nothing but a freaking bed wench. I haven't even really seen a lot of her videos. I just know of her because of the stupidness that she says or what have you. And she is one of many, because I see the coons that be sitting there supporting Trump, and even some even running for office or whatever, kissing Agent Orange's ass. You know, yeah, he got me to say Trump two times now. Yeah, they be kissing Agent Orange's ass and sitting there, spewing out conservative rhetoric or what have you. I don't even know why there's even black conservatives. They love to push that narrative that, the Republican Party was the party that freed us or what have you. I think I touched on this on another video. The Republican Party is the party that freed us. But the Republican Party of today is the Democrats of today. I mean, the Republicans of yesterday is the Democrats of today, and vice versa, or what have you. But they don't never want to sit there and say that. They just want to jump on that one point that Republicans are the ones that freed us and the Democrats were the ones that want to uphold slavery. And I always sit there and say, if you want to sit there and look at it in simple terms, look up at the demographics of the Democrats then, and look up the demographics of the Republicans now. That's as simple as you can get. You'll see that the Democrats then are in the same demographics as the Republicans now. So, kill all that noise or what have you. She has a new book talking about some blackout where she's supposedly explaining to black folks how they've been voting the wrong way all this time. Partially, that is true, because Democrats haven't been giving us nothing for our vote. They haven't been getting nothing for our vote because they know they don't have to. All they have to do is sit there and pander to us. That goes into my other video of symbolism. All they got to do is symbolism. That's it. Because we fall for it all the time. We're not politically educated. A lot of us are not educated at all, or what have you. So we fall for the okie doke. And we need to stop doing that. And we need to stop sitting there giving these Candace Owens of the world all this attention. Stop sharing her stuff. We already know how she is. We already know she's a buffoon. We already know she's a paid white supremacy speaker. She's a white supremacist in a blackface. That's what she is. We all know that. Stop sharing her stuff. Stop feeding her, because all publicity is good publicity. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people got on Kanye or whatever. He went really far right, over the years. But Kanye, I've always said Kanye knew what he's doing. He always knew what he was doing, or what have you. Because even if it's bad publicity, even if it's controversial, it's publicity. That's why he do the stupid stunts that he does, or what have you. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing with her. She don't really, if she's sitting there getting book deals, she's getting money, she's getting notoriety from the white folks, because that's what she really wants anyway. If she's getting all that, she doesn't care if we hate her. She doesn't care. You know what I'm saying? And you sharing the stuff or what have you, it's still publicity. Even if you're saying something negative about her, You know what I'm saying? Still publicity, because she's gonna still have, people on her side saying, "Oh, you're the greatest." All the white people, "Oh, you're the greatest. You're an inspiration. I'm gonna buy your book. I'm gonna sit there and support you. You need to run for office. I'm gonna sit there and vote for you." Blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? She's still gonna get that. So as long as she still gets that, she don't really care if she turned her back on the black community or what have you. You know what I'm saying? I seen one video by Ryan. I can't remember his last name, and he was speaking on the fact that she's one of those bitter black people. She sat there and had a certain upbringing or what have you, and wanted to be accepted by her black peers or whatever, and probably got rejected and became bitter. And here come the white people welcoming her open arms, giving her a nice hug. "Oh yeah, we'll accept you, blah blah blah." And then that's when it starts. You know what I'm saying? And that's a good analogy. That's the best analogy for a lot of black people. The so-called, and I mean maybe a lot of it is our fault too. You know what I'm saying? It's like the stigma that you can't become educated and still, you know, have your blackness or what have you. But that's not true. You can sit there and get your education and still keep your blackness, because if you sit there and don't forget where you came from, then it shouldn't be an issue. It shouldn't be an issue. You shouldn't sit there and get an education and still look to sit there and kiss the white people's ass. We don't need their validation. That's the problem. We always feel like we need their validation. Why? Because they have the money and so on and so forth. That is true. But it ain't like we can't have the money. And that's why it's important to sit there and start developing the money. We need to start investing. We need to start, really supporting black-owned companies. And then I always say support black-owned companies, but one thing I always forget to mention is once we support them, we also got to see what they're doing in the community. I mean, and some of them might not be able to do much because they're just starting out. They're really trying to build their way up. You know what I'm saying? So we got to work with that. You got to keep that in mind, because they don't have the backing that a lot of these white-owned companies have. They don't have the backing of these corporations. So you also got to keep that in mind. But, we got to see what they're doing too. We got to see what they're doing in the community. But we need to sit there and build some kind of equity so that we have some kind of power, so we don't need that white validation. And leave all them coons behind. Let them sit there and keep on pandering to massa. You know what I'm saying? Let them do that, because they're going to hang themselves anyway. A lot of them sit there and wind up losing their job at some point anyway, because, them white people don't freaking care about you. And on top of that, they can trust you even less because they know you're going to sell your own person out. So they know if you're going to sell your own people out, what they're going to think about you doing for them. So the first chance they get to get rid of you, they're going to get rid of you. So you can do all that cooning you want. You're going to sit there and want to hang yourself. So let them hang themselves. Stop feeding into that freaking energy that she's given and all these others are giving. You know what I'm saying? I wish they just climb under a rock somewhere or whatever. But, it's same tactics. These white supremacists been using the same tactics for decades and decades and centuries or what have you, because it continues to work. They haven't changed their playbook. They use the same tactics. They love, if they catching a bad rap, first thing they want to do is find some black person who's all about the dollar. You know what I'm saying? To sit there and say, "Oh no, this person he was a criminal, whatever." So it wasn't like he was a saint, and they needed to stop all this Black Lives Matter stuff, because all lives matter, and what they always gonna get somebody to sit there and do it, because they all worried about the dollar. That's it, and they want that white validity. You know what I'm saying? They got that white husband, that white wife, and they want to sit there and still appease to them and their family. You know what I mean? So just get away from all this freaking fake energy from them. And definitely, don't get that book. If it was given to me for free, I'll sit there and wipe my ass with it. Take every single page and wipe my ass with it. That's what I would do. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to speak on that briefly. And you know, it was something else I wanted to talk about. Yeah, I want to speak on that briefly and stop with the don't even share the hugs with the cops and stuff like that. Don't do that because even recently there's been more killings, what have you. So it's like I seen a tweet saying the cops haven't learned anything, and then somebody had retweeted and it had put the caption, "Oh, maybe we should sit there and give more hugs and have another round of the Macarena." You know what I'm saying? So that's what it's like. That's what it happens when you sit there and you be like, "Oh, look, they showing solidarity or whatever the case may be." That's not. We don't need that. We don't need the symbolism because they're not learning anything. The symbolism is only to sit there and pacify us and shut us up, and we're gonna sit there and start posting about the nonsense that we usually post about. You know what I'm saying? So that's why we need to sit there and keep the same energy. The energy that we get every time there's a killing, keep the same energy, what have you. That's part of why I'm doing these videos. Keep the same energy. Keep the same energy and don't just vote. You know what I'm saying? I know people have this taste with vote and I get it. I totally get it. Don't just vote. Sit there and get something for your vote. And don't just vote in presidential elections. People always worry about the president and that's it. Other primaries come up, other local elections come up, nobody shows up. I know, because I be there. You know what I'm saying? And as far as organizations, I go to meetings. Barely anybody shows up. You know what I'm saying? The same people that sitting there complaining about what about this and what about that or whatever, they don't show up. They don't go to different things or what have you. And I know we all got busy schedules. I don't always go. But when I do, it's pretty much empty. All the time. So we need to sit there and keep these things in mind and stop making any empty posts, especially when all you're doing is posting. So, that's all I have to say. And, enjoy your day. I'll talk to you later.